We're back with album review.
How's it going?
So what have you got for us this week?
So this week we got something by a group that I've never listened to before and really had no prior knowledge of.
Me neither.
So it's Look For Your Mind by the Lemon Twigs, which just came out in May of 2026 this year.
Yeah, so something fairly new for once.
Yeah. So for a little background, I've looked into them a little bit since I knew nothing. They're just a duo of brothers from Long Island, and they're both multi-instrumentalists and have been since like a very young age. So they're very talented musicians. But their first album released in 2016. This is their 6th album.
Oh wow. Okay.
So they're pretty experienced, but I guess they've just never really broken into the mainstream because they have like 200 and something thousand monthly listeners on Spotify.
Okay, so they're still fairly underground, I'd say.
Yeah, at least to my standards they are, I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really all the background I had going in, so.
Okay. Shall we jump into the tracks then?
Sure. The first track is the title track, Look For Your Mind.
And right off the bat, you see this, like, they're going for that classic rock sound, like, almost like British Invasion type of sounds that you'd hear off of, like, the Beatles or the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, right away the 60s influences are super noticeable.
Yes.
Like, basically throughout a lot of this album we'll probably be saying that, but, like, so some of these songs definitely make me feel like they have a Beatles writing style to them.
Definitely,
and,
yeah.
like, arrangement. Like, they have a lot of melodies where it's not just typical pop where you can predict the next thing coming. It's like, it's pop, but it's not predictable. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
So it had a very good sound to it, honestly. Just a lot of like super layered harmonizing vocals like the Beatles as well.
Yeah.
That's another reason I thought of them. But just a fun, like, energetic opening to the album, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Very energetic, and they also have like slower moments in this album too. So they have like a good like fast and slow pace in this album too.
Yeah, there's a good variety for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a good start. I think it might not have been like one of the strongest tracks overall in the album.
I wouldn't say so. Yeah.
There's just a lot of tough competition for it coming up here.
True.
So, but the next track is 2 or 3, which was one of the singles for this album.
Yeah, I think this was the big hit, and this one's pretty good. I like this one. I can see why it's the big hit.
Yeah, it's catchy and it's very well written for sure.
Yeah. Once again, is that pop rock sound?
Yeah. Yeah, this one I remember had like a flute, like glockenspiel kind of thing on the chorus.
Yeah.
That would like echo the main melody line, so that made it more memorable. But yeah, it was very unique, and I thought it was good.
I agree. I really like that track.
But like at this point in the album, I was already like, this is really weird that this is probably the newest music I've listened to ever, and it sounds like it's from the 60s.
Yeah, that's weird. It's a weird feeling.
But it's like very refreshing because you wouldn't expect music sounding like that to come out nowadays. So I was like, this would be interesting.
Especially when stuff from that era, aside from like the real popular stuff, hasn't aged the best just because of the production.
Yeah.
It was probably very low budget, where this has like a very modern and clean production, which is something that the Beatles would do. Like, but they did it years ago. But like now that we have this modern technology, they can just do it right off the rip, which is, it helps a lot, but it makes the music sound incredible.
Yeah. And another note that you just reminded me of that I probably should say in the background. I don't know if every one of these songs, but most of these songs were recorded completely analog. Recorded and mixed and everything by them completely analog in their home studio.
Okay, cool.
So they're one of those bands that's very, I guess, like
Very
traditional.
Yeah, I was
in
gonna
that
say
way.
traditionalist.
Yeah. So a lot of it, like a lot of these songs on the album have a very live feel to them, and they were written to be played live, so it's very like band oriented, not like as much piecing together.
It's what makes this production sound timeless to me. Like, this could have been released like at any point from the 60s to now, and it has that just raw sound to it.
Yeah. And I would assume that they probably didn't use like auto-tune or anything then, but their singing voices were very good on all of these songs, and actually the brothers literally alternate on this album, track to track, on who's doing vocals.
I could hear that.
So they're both really good singers as well. But the third track is Nothing But You.
This is a nice one.
Yeah, I like this one. This one, the second the guitar riff started, I thought it sounded like And Your Bird Can Sing. Like,
Very much a Beatles
exact
influence on there.
sound. Yeah. But it was a cool one for sure. Probably one of my favorites on the album, I think.
I think so too.
It was really catchy. Next track is Gather Round.
This is one of my favorites too. Very poppy sound. Very much like one of those Beatles tracks too. Something you'd probably hear off of like Revolver or something.
For sure, this sounded like a Paul McCartney written song, honestly. But yeah, this one had some interesting instrument choices in it too, like some horns and xylophones in the back.
Maybe that's also where I'm getting that Beatles vibe
Yeah.
from too.
It had like a marchy, like almost circusy kind of feel to it that some of their songs had. I don't know how to describe it, not circus, but I don't know. That's just the word I thought of.
No, I get that vibe too.
Yeah. But the next track is I Just Can't Get Over Losing You.
This is a really good one too.
This is where they started to sound a little more Beach Boys influence to me than the Beatles even. Some of these songs for sure is a Beach Boys influence, but this was one of them.
Yeah, this entire album just feels like a love letter to that era.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they don't just take influence from one artist, and all those artists, they had slightly different sounds to it too, and that really shows in this album.
And to my knowledge, this is basically what their discography consists of, this genre at least. So this is their 6th album doing at least something to this sort, so they do it really well, honestly. You can really like clearly hear the influences that they're taking from, but at the same time, it doesn't sound like they're stealing anything. Like, everything sounds so new and fresh at the same time. Like, they're very unique and original, like, melodies and stuff that I wouldn't have thought of or heard before, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, next is Fire and Gold.
I like Fire and Gold too.
Yeah.
This is a song that grew on me a bit, and I really like it now.
Definitely grew on me too. I gave the album a couple listens, so each time I like this one more. This one had like more acoustic guitar on it, and it reminded me of like the Eagles or like Joe Walsh, the way the intro sounded.
I could see that, yeah.
Just the guitar, I guess. But I remember there was a lot of cool like reverby effects towards the end of this one. That was really cool. It was a good song. Next track is Mean to Me.
This is another like throwback one for me. This is another chill one, and I kind of like it. This is another one that kind of had to grow on me, but I also really like it.
I'd agree with that, yeah. This was definitely one of the slower ones on the album. I think this one was another super Beach Boys sounding one to me, or like Brian Wilson, just something that would be like something he would do.
Yeah, I could definitely hear that influence in this song. So like the album is going through like different like sections where it has like the influences, which is another really cool thing about it.
For sure. Yeah, this one had like a ton of the like oohs and ahs in the background that like the Beach Boys are very
like the barbershop quartet sound in a way.
Yeah. The next track is Bring You Down. This one was pretty cool too.
Another really good one.
This one was like kind of like a modern day version of Taxman to me.
Yeah, this probably is my personal favorite on the album, honestly.
Okay. I did really like the writing on this one for sure.
I love the guitar on this track.
Yeah. I already said they're going to take my job and give it to a metal machine. So it's like very relevant nowadays, but like it's weird that it sounds like it came out in the 60s.
Yeah, it's another weird thing to me, and it just works so well though.
It does. Like this is very, just listening to this whole album was a very like refreshing experience, I'd say.
I would say so too.
Next track is Yeah I Do. This one was like super Beatles sounding, I remember too.
Very Beatles coded once again.
And like even at parts, I remember he did like a really passionate like vocal cord straining, hey, like kind of singing that Paul McCartney would do.
Yeah.
So it really reminded me of the Beatles, but I think this was like the shortest track or one of them.
Yeah, one of the shortest ones for sure. I think it was just under 2 minutes.
Yeah, it got in and out pretty quick, and it really like didn't stay in one place too long either. Like it was not repetitive or anything. It really took you on.
Yeah, it just came and went, but it made its presence known.
Yep. Next track is I Hurt You.
This one's decent.
Yeah, this one's good. I like the instrumentation on this one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good writing. This one was kind of like about when you're in a long-term relationship with someone and then you realize that you're not being like as good of a partner as you could be or as you used to be, but that person still treats you just as well as they ever have. So it's kind of like feeling bad about that and self-accountability kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. I'd say it was probably relatable for a lot of people.
For sure. It's definitely one of the more relatable tracks, I feel. Especially with all the relationship tracks on here, too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of very just good writing on each track, honestly.
Yeah, the writing is another standout for this album.
And these guys, like, it's their 6th album, but they're still only 27 and 29. So when they started doing this, they were just teenagers, and you can see that they're already very skilled for their age at what they do.
For sure.
Next track is You're Still My Girl.
I like this one, too.
I like this one, too. This this one felt like it was written by John Lennon to me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like each song, like just either the themes they're writing about or the way that they're sounding are just reminding me of like specific songwriters from like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, and this one's another probably one of my favorites too on the album.
Yeah, this one was very good. Really catchy, really passionate singing on the chorus. Next track is Joy.
Joy's a decent track.
Yeah, this one wasn't bad, but this one was like definitely the slowest on the album.
Yeah, it's probably one of the few slow tracks that I was like, this one's okay.
Yeah, this one was like Simon and Garfunkel slow, like that kind
Yeah,
of
like almost like folky in a way.
And nothing's more 60s than a song that's just a girl's name. Like the
True.
title is a girl's name, so
I guess it's another like love letter to that era.
yeah, for sure. And then 13, they get back into more energy with My Heart Is in Your Hands Tonight.
Yep, another great one, I'd say.
Yeah, this is another one of my favorites. This is like a heart-wrenching breakup song, pretty much. But super catchy chorus.
Very catchy one.
I really like this one a lot. Nothing bad to say.
Very distinct way of singing on this track. Like it sounds like they're really belting it out at the end, especially in the chorus.
Yeah, for sure. Just really good melody.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, another one that kind of feels like Beach Boys in a way to me.
Yeah, definitely. And then the final track is Your True Enemy.
Another one I like, but it's not one of my favorites.
Okay. This is probably like the most experimental track on the album and like definitely the most psychedelic sounding.
Yeah, very psychedelic, almost like an early Pink Floyd sound in there too, with like some of that Sgt. Pepper's in there, especially like the weird sounds, especially at the end of the track.
Yeah, and actually, fun note on that is that their dad, who also was a songwriter starting in the 70s, but I guess he never really got as popular as they are now, but he actually contributed to a lot of the sound effects on this track since everything was done analog. So it's probably something that he did back in the day, so...
Yeah, maybe he was ahead of his time with that sound then, who knows?
Yeah, but it's just a cool little Easter egg that they included their dad on something they made.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I don't know, I thought that was an interesting end, at least, to the album, having like... It was very different than the rest of the track list, I guess. So.
I'm kind of glad they saved that for the end to like kind of like trip you up at the very end. It again feels like something that the Beatles would do, or like some other psychedelic like influences there.
Yep, because the rest of the album was pretty much very like power pop, I guess they call it.
Yeah, power pop with like some folk and just some other classic rock sounds that we all know and love.
Yeah.
So, you want to go to final thoughts?
Sure. I'm really glad I picked something that I'd never listened to because it felt like enlightening. Like I really enjoyed it.
I could see that. Yeah.
I felt like we found something that I'm definitely gonna dig into more of their albums.
Me too.
And I actually heard from some like reviews online that this album was slightly lower rated than their previous two as well.
Ooh.
So, and I really had nothing bad to say about this album on the whole.
Wow.
So that's very promising to hear.
Yeah, even if this isn't one of their best, then I can't even imagine how good the other stuff is.
Right.
Yeah, I thought this was a fantastic album, and it very much like hit it somewhere special with me because like I love a soft spot for those '60s sounds, and I think this is like a very refreshing take on that because it mixes that classic sound but with like modern influences too and modern production. So it's like the best of both worlds, honestly, which is something that I feel like if this was done like 10 years ago, it probably wouldn't be done right because like I don't know, just something about that era. Just whenever like classic rock artists start coming back, there was always like something missing.
Right.
But this feels like that piece that was missing.
Time to breathe, and now this is like very fresh.
Yeah, it's nice to see that like the younger generations of like musicians, like people our age and in their 30s, are like making music like this again, and it sounds refreshing. It doesn't just sound like derivative.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. Like the second you hear a lot of these songs, you can hear what bands, or it makes you think of bands from the 60s that are certainly influencing it, but you never for a second feel like, man, they're just trying to make a Beatles song. Like, oh, this just sounds like something I've heard before, because it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just very well done.
I would say so. So shall we jump into scores?
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Awesome!
Yeah, no complaints.
I was going to give it an 8, but I think I'll bump it to an 8.5. I think it's a fantastic album. I think most people should check it out. If you're into classic rock or just like smooth music in general, it's very good for that.
For sure.
And I'll have to check them out sometime soon because that sound is just very unique for something that came out in the current year.
Yeah, I have listened to like a handful of other tracks from their previous album now, and I was very impressed. So I'm hyped to look into that.
Awesome. So for me, I'm gonna change it up a little bit, but we're gonna go with two options here. Shall we go with something a little more popular but alternative from what they usually did, or should we do something a little more obscure like these guys, but it's not quite the same genre?
Let's go obscure again. Why not?
All right, we're gonna do a group that I've seen a few times now, and a group that I think some people might like, some people probably won't. Who knows? We're gonna be doing the Dead Milkmen's first album. It's called Big Lizard in My Backyard. So it's a punk, but it's kind of goofy at the same time. They don't take themselves very seriously, and they're also a local Philly group. So I think it's about time we check out this album. It's an album that I've come back to in recent years, and I think it holds up pretty well.